have with us the head of the Ukrainian delegation, Rustem Umєrov, Ukraine's defense minister. We are also joined by Vadim Skibitsky, who is the deputy chief of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, who was also part of the delegation. And hopefully we will also have Sergei Kislitsa, our first deputy minister. He is already here. Yes, good. Joining us. So what we will do is statements by our members of delegations, and then we will let them free. They are busy people having a lot of issues to do, but I will stay with you for a while to answer your questions, okay? We will start with Defense Minister of Ukraine, Rustem Umєrov. Rustem, please.
Dear colleagues, first of all, we've been directed by President Zelensky to come for the negotiations. Our first priority was people, and that's why we negotiated to free 1,000 people, and we reach to a conclusion, reach to an agreement to exchange 1,000 people. It is important achievement, and that once again shows that we are focused to finalize this war. The second objective was to discuss ceasefire. We exchanged on modalities, and our teams will be working on exchanging the details. The third objective was our president was expecting the high-level discussions in here, and I think the next step would be that the leaders level meeting should be organized, and that would be our next step. So at this stage, we once again would like to reiterate Ukraine wants peace. Ukraine is focused to people, and we're able and capable to continue fight, but at the end of the day, we need to finalize this war. So thank you.
Thank you, Rustem. First Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Kislitsa.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is potentially a very good end to a very difficult day that is a result of many weeks of work of our leaders, of the President of Ukraine, of the United States, of President of Turkey, and our European partners, prime ministers and presidents. The tentative success of today's negotiations is still to be consolidated. That means that the pressure on the Russian Federation must continue. We should not really relax at this point. And there are many issues that can be resolved if only the leaders can meet, because given the complexity of the issues and given the nature of the Russian Federation, where practically every single issue that is at stake can only be resolved by President Putin, we are looking forward for having the summit sooner than later. The fact that one of the results of today's discussion is the possible exchange of 1,000 against 1,000 persons is an excellent news, potentially excellent news for 1,000 probably families in Ukraine. And if only for that result, we had to go here guided by our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Vadim.
Всім доброго дня. Сьогодні, мабуть, один із таких важливих елементів наших переговорів – це досягнення згоди російської сторони на повернення наших громадян, наших українців додому. Російська сторона погодилася здійснити обмін 1,000 осіб. Найближчим часом, а вже починаючи з сьогоднішнього дня, ми опрацюємо списки тих осіб, які будуть повернені на батьківщину. Ми маємо нормальний досвід роботи з російською стороною. Ви знаєте, що нам повернули тіла наших загиблих героїв. Через те ми будемо робити все для того, щоб кожен громадянин України повернувся додому. Ми їх чекаємо, ми будемо їх вітати і, відповідно, продовжимо нашу роботу з російською стороною. Дякую.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Minister. I will now stay. We thank our briefers. I will stay to answer some of your questions. Not much time, but let's try. Let's start. Yes. So yes, of course, the Russian delegation has voiced a number of things which we deem unacceptable. We have a long experience of all kinds of talks with the Russians. Believe me, since 2014 there were many rounds. So I would say that the Ukrainian delegation knows well how to handle all of the things that might be voiced from that side. And the Ukrainian delegation handled it in a calm manner, basically outlining our principal position and still staying with our line. So yes, yes. Yeah. So I can say that we are grateful to Turkey, to President Erdogan, for presenting this opportunity, this platform for the peace effort. We value Turkish engagement and role as a facilitator, as a very serious force in this world that can really help bring an end to the war. So we are most grateful. As to further context, you heard the members of the delegation. They will be considered later. I will also emphasize that Minister of Foreign Affairs Andriy Sybiga, together with the head of the presidential office Andriy Yermak, and with Rustema Umєrov, they met with their Turkish counterparts today, including Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan and the head of the intelligence organization Ibrahim Kalin, and they had a very substantive conversation, both about the Ukrainian-Turkish relations, but also about the peace efforts that we're trying to advance. Let's go to... Okay, Lemon. Yes? Yeah, again, I can reiterate. There were a number of issues. Look, I will leave it to history because still, these are negotiations. Probably it's not for me here to officially talk about the content to this extent that you want. I can again reiterate the general mood and the outcome and the outline of this conversation. That yes, there were a number of things that, of course, were unacceptable. But again, the Ukrainian delegation took it with a very calm posture, understanding that this is something that Russians usually voice, and we were keeping to our line. This is very important.
Can I follow up quickly on this negotiations of Americans and Ukrainians here?
Negotiations of Americans and Ukrainians. So the day before, actually, I think it was yesterday. Yes. Sorry, I mixed the. Wait, I'm answering the previous question. Look, I understand your impatience, but people, just didn't. So there were Ukrainian-American contacts here, at least 3 of them. Meeting between Minister Sybiga, Secretary Rubio, and Special Representative Kellogg in Antalya. Then the meeting of advisors in the morning today, where there was Andriy Yermak, Sybiga, Umєrov, and also Kellogg, General Kellogg, but also the trilateral with the Turkish side. So, I mean that all of this is well coordinated with the American side. We are in a good contact with them. We exchange views, we exchange positions, and we coordinate with the American side. And as far as I understand, the American side was already briefed by the Ukrainian side on the outcomes of the talks. Let's go briefly here.
Які конкретні пропозиції / вимоги пред'являла російська сторона?
Я вже відповідав тільки що, я не можу розкривати зміст переговорів, це просто некоректно. Я ще раз можу повторити українською мовою тепер, що дійсно лунали низки вимог, які ми вважаємо неприйнятними. Ми до цього готувалися, українська делегація знала, що так буде, тому тримала дуже спокійний тон і спокійно захищала свою лінію, пояснювала, висловлювала свою позицію. І ми вважаємо, що українська делегація зробила це достатньо ефективно і результативно.
Of the ceasefire that is under discussion, and is there any round of talks between Russia and Ukraine? Because the Russian side is saying that they are ready to remain in contact, and are we going to see the highest level of talks between Putin and Zelensky?
So look, the Ukrainian delegation was sent here by President Zelensky with a clear agenda, which is number 1, ceasefire, full unconditional ceasefire, and I need to remind everyone that Ukraine agreed to such kind of a durable ceasefire back in March. We haven't received Russian yes on this basic point, so this was the priority issue for the Ukrainian delegation. This is logical because if you want to have serious negotiations, you need to have guns silent. This is logical, and all the peace, you are covering all the conflicts in the world, you all know that this is how it works. You first make guns silent and then you talk. So this was the point number one. The Russian delegation probably has limited mandate because our delegation was ready to have a ceasefire agreed today. The Russian delegation was probably not in such a detail on the ceasefire, but I think this discussion about the ceasefire will continue, and we will continue to press for a ceasefire. As Foreign Deputy Minister Sergei Kislitsa said, there needs to be more pressure. We believe that as this process evolves, we need to see more pressure on Moscow to make them more willing to actually make some steps to advance serious peace process. And the second one item of the agenda is, of course, the leaders' meeting, because even the ceasefire, even things like this, in Russia, only one person takes decisions. We all understand this. This is Putin. And of course, you need him to decide on the ceasefire and other big issues. That's why President Zelensky said openly that he is ready for a direct negotiation with Putin. Putin did not show up here, but this issue was still discussed because we understand that if we want to make progress, we need to have this meeting of leaders, including on the ceasefire. I'm answering the last one and I will go. There. Yes.
Is the meeting on Putin and Zelensky possible?
I just answered this. We are working. We're pressing for this, but we will see. It depends on the Russians. You need to ask the Russians about it. Yes.
What's your expectation on China's efforts for the ceasefire and peace talk? Because China and Brazil now recently announced put forward a new announcement to support the peace talk. What's your view about this announcement?
Yes, so both China and Brazil була присутня під час переговорів. Yeah. Look, I already answered this question. I know this is something of interest for many reporters here, but I cannot really go into the substance of the negotiations. This is incorrect from the diplomatic point of view. I can say that yes, there were a number of demands on the Russian side, which were, in our view, unacceptable. The Ukrainian delegation handled it calmly, basically stating our line and our principled positions, and then bringing the discussion back to the points that are achievable, doable. And again, if we manage to agree on 1,000 for 1,000 exchange, we think this was already worth it, because we will make 1,000 Ukrainian families, in our view, will make them happy. And this was already worth it, we think. This is a great achievement by the Ukrainian delegation. We need to give credit to the people whom you just listened, because in these difficult circumstances, they managed to reach this result. And this is a great result for Ukraine and everyone else. Thank you, media. I cannot stay longer, but I will sanctions with you. Thank you.